I was recently perusing the Proof Fly Fishing website because I was buying some snake brand guides, and I came across their reel seats that they offer. And that intrigued me because the price point was pretty low, so I was interested in trying one out. And what I did is I purchased this one. This is the Garrison 4 to 6 down locking reel seat. It's in antique gold, and I thought that I would do a little review video of this reel seat for you guys. So I do want to say up front that I'm not affiliated with Proof Fly Fishing and that I bought this with my own money. So these thoughts are my own, these opinions are my own, and they're just that, opinions. To do this, I want to go over my first impressions when I open the box. I want to talk about the specs of the reel seat. Then I want to get into some more deeper things like trying it out with reels, things like that. And finally, I just want to offer my final thoughts on the reel seat. So let's get right into it. First of all, my first impressions. So it comes in mini pieces, and the first thing that caught my eye was the insert. And I should have said that I did buy the burl insert version of this, and that looked very nice right out of the bag. The other thing that I did notice right away was the color on the hardware. I had purchased the antique gold, and this didn't look quite like it did. It doesn't in person quite like it did on the website. So there's a little bit of a gold tinge. I thought that might be due to the lighting, so we'll talk about that in a minute. So my first impression right away opening it up was it looked pretty nice. All right, so what about the specs? I got some notes here. The length of the reel seat when assembled on the website, they say that the length is 3.9 inches. And when I measured it, it came out a little bit under that. It actually measured at 3.775 inches. So a little bit shorter than what it says on the website. Not a big deal. The outer diameter of the barrel, they say is 0.695 inches. I measured that at 0.685 inches, so a little bit narrower. They say that the inner bore is 0.480, and that was substantially different. I had the inner bore at 0.380, so much narrower, which might be important to you. And finally, the weight of the full reel seat, hardware, and insert, they have at, what do they have it at? 0.7 ounces, and that comes in a little light compared to that at 0.622 ounces. So a little lighter, and maybe that's a good thing for you. Okay, so those are the specs and how they play out. Along with that, I should also say that the cost of this reel seat is, at the time I purchased it, was $24.49. Okay, so with all those things in mind, let's take a little bit closer look at this reel seat. All right, the fit to my mind is a little bit sloppy. When I put this on here, it's a little loose, and I do understand that you don't want a very snug fit because you do want room for your epoxy in there. Otherwise, if it's too tight, the epoxy won't hold very well. But even so, I think this fit is a little bit loose. And again, that could attribute to a little bit narrower outer diameter on the whole thing. In fact, the amount it's loose by is going to be very easy to take up with shims. I'm not concerned about that. But it might be attributed to the smaller diameter of the insert. So the fit is a little bit loose there, and the same with the pocketed butt cap, a little loose there. I'm going to have to shim both of those, which again isn't a big deal, but it's something to be aware of. Okay, so that's the fit. What about the finish? Now, in this picture, the barrel, I do see some machine marks in it, but I have to say that when I look at this, I do not see those. In fact, I didn't even look for them until I saw that picture, and then I went looking for them and I don't see it. So the finish seems very nice. It may or may not be a hand-rubbed finish, but it has that appearance. So very nice finish on the reel seat insert. The hardware overall is aluminum, and it looks like it's machined aluminum to me. And if you look at this picture again closely at the butt cap, there is this kind of weird ridge that runs right near the middle of the cap. And that is something I can see in person up close, but kind of only if I'm looking for it. It does stand out to me now that I know it's there and I'm looking at it, and I don't see it in the product photos on the website. So it may or may not be unique to this particular reel seat. I don't know, but it is on mine. Otherwise, I will say that the finish on the aluminum itself looks quite nice. However, getting back to the color, I did think that maybe they shipped me the wrong color. Again, I ordered antique gold, and it looks more gray to me. And to check that out, I went outside and thought maybe just my indoor lighting was affecting it, but it looked more gray to me when I went outside. It didn't look gold at all. So I went to their website to see if maybe they shipped me a different color, but this color that it appears to me is not something they offer, so I think they did ship the correct color. It's just not as gold as I expected. It still looks very nice. Just something to be aware of. So with that, I think that's all of the finish type of things, the fit things, and I really want to get into now the function. So what I did is I kind of assembled this with some heavy shimming to hold things very tight, and put some reels in it, because one of the concerns I had, I have run across reel seats that don't fit certain reel feet. So I wanted to try a variety of reels on those, and particularly it can be a concern if a reel foot just does not go in at all. The reel seat is too small and doesn't accept it. So I was concerned about that. That is not the case with this. All three of these reels fit. In fact, if anything, I think it's maybe a little on the large side. I think they still fit quite well. It's hard to say without having it fully epoxied and mounted, but everything seemed firm in my test there. In fact, even that big saltwater reel back there fit in this nicely as well. I don't know why you would use this reel for that. This is listed as a 456 reel seat, excuse me. So yeah, no concerns there that I have. So with that, what are my final thoughts on this reel seat? Again, I think it looks quite nice for what it is. It's an aluminum hardware burl wood insert reel seat at a price of $24.49, and I think that is a fantastic value. How might I use this, however? I'm going to use it for what I intended to use it for. When I'm building rods to try out a taper for the first time, I might put something like this on that rod. I think it looks quite nice it'll look quite nice on the water, and it does a functionally good job, is what I would expect from this. And for that price, that's a pretty good deal. However, I probably would not personally put this on a rod that maybe I was going to sell. I really kind of prefer the nickel silver look. That maybe there's an argument that that's heavier and that this is better because it's lighter. I don't know, but traditionally I really like the nickel silver. I think you can do a lot of interesting things with it, but I can also make my own reel seats, and if you're not able to do that, and if you are on a budget, I think this is a fantastic option. So again, that's with it not on the rod, not in real world, but what it is out of the box. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. If it has, please like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you around the next bend. Until then, tight glue lines.